Pressure. She's sacked him. A great bull rush by Chris Jones.
When it gets tough, you know, he's going to be there battling. Players appreciate it.
The Chiefs put the hammer down with a 34-yard touchdown pass. The 10, still not down. Oh, what a run out of this world. They fall up to 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
The Chiefs go to 7-2 on the season with a 27-17 victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mitch Holthus with you, voice of the Chiefs, along with senior team reporter Matt McMullen. We mentioned the Chiefs can win in a variety of ways. So can Patrick Mahomes. And after with his feet on Sunday night a week ago, today he was spectacular with 4 touchdown passes.
Yeah, once again, an MVP performance from Patrick Mahomes. He completes 26 of 35 passes for 331 yards and 4 touchdowns in this game. Spread the ball all over the place. An incredible performance once again from him.
And using a lot of folks here. Kadarius Toney, big 36-yard jet sweep. Chiefs were able to run the ball better in this game. Pacheco had a nice game running. But the 46-yarder to Kelsey on the over route, I thought did a lot in this game because Jacksonville's so fast on defense, and it's almost like slowed them down.
Yeah, it did. And they wanted to be physical in this game. The Jags defense did. And Travis Kelce said, okay, you can be physical. I'm just going to go over the top for 46 yards on you. Kelce had a great one here today. He had 6 catches for 81 yards and a touchdown. He was awesome once again. Patrick Mahomes is the MVP of this team, but Travis Kelce is right there with him. You need your big-time players to make big-time plays in games like this to put the Jags away, and they both did that.
We'll talk more about the offense as the show goes on, but let's talk about the defense here. The Jags shocked the Chiefs by recovering an onside kick. Stall at the 39. They punt from the plus 39. The next possession, they punt from the plus 44. The Chiefs get 5 sacks, but that's not necessarily the story, at least the start. It's the young defenders. George Karlaftis had his best game so far. When you look at the sack by Leo Chenal, early on in this game, it was the young guys that stepped up.
Yeah, I think Leo Chenal also had his best game as a Chief so far. And look at third down in this game. The Chiefs hold Jacksonville to 4 of 14 on third down. 4 6 punts. That's where this game was won.
Yep, and keeping Travis Etienne in check because he did not get the big runs. Let's go to the podium.
Okay, as far as the injuries go, Juju Smith and Chris Lamons have concussions, so they'll go into the protocol part of it and do that. Andrew Wiley sprained his elbow, and we'll just see how he does. He'll have an MRI tomorrow as we go. All in all, it was a good game to get. Doug's done a really nice job with this crew, and I know he's got this young quarterback that he's developing, and I know they'll continue to get better down the road. But gave us all we could handle there, and it ended up being a good game. So the crowd was unbelievable, loud, and they're crazy. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to have a home like this, and for our players and coaches. As far as some of the individual achievements, Pacheco had a nice day today, running the football, and that also is part due with the offensive line doing a nice job. MVS had a big catch at the end that I thought was tremendous, but he had a good day all the way around, but he had that big catch at the end on our sideline that was great. Carlos got his 100th sack, and my hat goes off to him. That's a lot of football right there to get you into those numbers. And he's done a nice job here with it. Kadarius got introduced to Kansas City a little bit more than what he had last week, and had a nice day. Some nice plays in there. The young DBs, all of them. I mean, 23, 21, 35. They've I thought played well. Chris Jones, Colin Saunders, I mean, these guys had sacks, and I thought they played well all day. So all in all, it was a good game. We've got plenty of things to work on that we need to clean up, a few too many mistakes, but again, not easy to win in the National Football League, so we cherish each one of these as we go.
Andy, what's enabled Kadarius to get integrated into all this so fast?
Yeah, well, you'll have him here in a second, but he's a smart kid, and he does pick it up easy, although he's willing to spend time at it too. So he's not just getting the plays and then not studying. He spends the time at it. He's very talented. We're trying to give him some things that he's done before and then adding one or two things the last couple of weeks that he's not used to doing so he can continue to grow. And then, the quarterback has trust in him because of the feel he has.
Ask this in such a way that I'm not asking you to comment on the officiating, but and you may not be able to speak to this, but is there a place for that hit that happened on Francisco on Juju in the game, or is that hit need not to be in the game?
Well, as long as there's contact of the head, it doesn't need to be in the game. So it looked like there was contact to the head from where I was standing, but I'm not the one making that call. So.
Did you get any explanation for why there was a flag and picked up? Did they explain that piece?
Yeah, they said that he hit with his shoulder, and so that's why they picked it up. You hit somebody in the head, you're hitting in the head. But they said it was shoulder to shoulder is what they said. And, he obviously was in pretty bad position there for hitting shoulder to shoulder. So.
Andy, why was Pacheco your primary back today? Was he just going with a hot hand, or is there more to it?
Yeah, no, they all played, and he was going, so we tried to get him into the flow, and he did a nice job with it. We're lucky that we have three guys that we feel that comfortable with putting them in. So.
And he had the fumble down there in the red zone. You went right back to him. It's what you want to see from him responding after a tough play.
Yeah, he's a young guy, man. You got to get back on the horse. So he was upset that he fumbled. He can learn from it. Now you got to go. So.
Just a little house cleaning thing. At the beginning of the game, you guys won the toss and generally defer. What was the choice there on that, or did they do the right thing?
That wasn't a good choice. So we goofed that one. A little miscommunication.
Coach, can you talk about the fact you guys are able to win? I'm not going to say easily, but you're able to win despite being down 3-0 on turnovers, and you had that onside kick.
Yeah. Well, tribute to the guys, the coaches, and the players, but we've got to get rid of some of that stuff that you're talking about. Make sure we clean it up. You shoot yourself in the foot, it's going to come back and bite you. So we got to make sure that we take care of business there.
I wanted to ask one more thing on the
Yep.
What is sort of, as a head coach, you care about all these guys when you're walking on the field and you see a guy in that position?
Yeah, that's not good. That's not a good feeling at all. And that's what I tried to explain to the officials there, that guys don't get hit in the shoulder and lay around like that right there. So, there's more to it. Somewhere the head was involved. And so that's what the rules put in for that type of thing.
How impressed have you been with the defense, just considering it seems to be hitting on all cylinders and you really leaned into a lot of these younger guys?
Yeah, and they're getting better every week. That's part I like the most. They're working hard. They've bought in. I like the veterans and how they've kind of helped these guys along, even though it might take a little playing time away from them. But they've been very gracious with that, and that's a neat thing to have on a team.
A couple more.
No rushing attempts for Clyde. Was that by design?
No, not at all. It's just the way it worked out. The other kid got most of the rushes. So.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, I got all kinds of questions. How quick will Kadarius Toney be involved in the offense? I don't know. How about instant oatmeal? He's with us now, number 19. Let's talk about today in specific. You were all over this game plan.
Yeah. Just a long week, just getting the offense down and being more comfortable in my role. And Reid believed in me, and the players and the staff believed in me also. I just had to go out there and execute.
And with McCole Hardman being down with the abdomen injury, how much did you have to do your stuff and his stuff in this game?
I would say I prayed McCole a speedy recovery while I'm out here. But I don't think it was more of a role that I was feeling. It was more of like just get in, do what you can, and, I did it.
I mean, I've been in this league only 29 years. It's the first time I've seen a receiver with a one-legged touchdown. You hopping in, I said it was like a gymnastics meet, man. Let's talk about your touchdown and the one-legged hop.
Look, I had from the beginning of the play, I kind of saw it was open. Like when I ran the jet sweep, I started yelling. I started yelling at him, hey, hey. And when he threw it, I didn't notice how close I was to the sideline. I was so antsy to get it. And when I seen it, I saw my leg right there, and I just kept hopping. Ain't nobody out here. I might well hop.
It was awesome. And your first NFL touchdown. Yeah. Keep that football.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I was sitting home with my mama.
The jet sweep, that was big. 33-yarder. What did that do for this team, and what about running that play?
I feel like it gave us a big boost. Everybody just keep corralling around me and keep pushing me to do better and better. And that play, I was escorted by Quiz and Kelsey, really. I mean, I didn't really do much. I was running behind him.
And then the pass play at the boundary on the far side. Again, you had to walk the tightrope. What about your balance, running that route and completing the pass? And how fun is it to play with Patrick and Mahomes?
It's electric playing with him out there. Like, I can't really explain it. It was more of he just threw it, and I just went up to make a play. Like,
but what about your awareness? You had to know where the sideline was. You had to show balance.
I did. I would say I was locked in. I would say I was locked in. I was just locked in out there.
You have been locked in. Now the punt returning. You get thrust into that role today. Yeah. Those weren't easy punts. What about the role of being a punt returner?
I'm kind of embracing it. If it's meant for me, you know, I'm just kind of embracing it, kind of doing what I can, doing everything I can to help us be successful. Because you know, everybody know the end goal of this. So I'm just humble, just glad to be here right now.
We're glad to have you here. But how awesome is it to be in this culture, in this system with these players?
It's really different, really electric. It's a different feeling. It's more. It kind of reminds me of college. It's just the fans all over everybody. They mauling everybody. Every opponent that come in here, the coaches pushing you to the limit that you feel like you couldn't never be pushed to. You got a quarterback who's smart, ready to put you in the right position. It's kind of electric. It's a place for me, I guess you could say.
It's awesome to have you here. I think in my 29 years, you're the first player from 8 Mile, Alabama to be on the team. But just integrating so fast. And how much studying have you had to do?
Oh, I had to do a lot. You know, I stay up late night, wake up early morning, get to it.
That's awesome. Kadarius Toney already into the end zone making big plays.
I honestly don't know exactly what I said, but I was hyped up for him. It was funny because we had some plays designed for him to score. But if you would have told one play that I didn't think he was going to score on, it was that one. But it was cool to see. I mean, everybody was excited for him. Luckily, he didn't run out of bounds. He was getting close there on the sideline. I actually heard him as the route was going on, going, hey, because he was wide open. So that helped me out a little bit.
Play design, or just kind of a stray thing that worked out?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's obviously in the play design. It's like the fifth read. So he was kind of the distraction guy, trying to bring kind of guys over, and then I wanted to kind of go flat to the stick route to the over to Kels. And then I heard him yelling, and I was like, man, who's yelling at me over there? I looked over, and he's wide open. So he was on like the last read in that play. But in this offense, that last read might be open sometimes. So you got to stay ready for it.
Why do you think it's come so easy for him, or seemingly so far here in KC?
Yeah, I mean, first off, he's a smart guy. I mean, he learned a lot fast, and we've been able to put him in positions, especially a lot more this week. But he's a smart guy, he plays hard, and whenever he's got his opportunities, made plays happen. And this offense is, like I said all year, it's going to be everywhere. And I think you saw that again today. Guys stepped up and made plays happen, and that's the special part about this offense.
Got his first touchdown.
Yeah, I was excited for him because he's made a lot of big plays happen, and I feel like I've kind of not underthrown, but underthrown him enough that he hasn't had some of these big play touchdowns that you expect from him. And so for him to another play where he's not necessarily the first read, but working his way, getting himself open, and making a play, I'm excited for him because he's kept it going. Even though he's not scoring touchdowns, he's making himself ready and available, and I mean that's a big part of this offense.
Do you subconsciously sometimes look at teams, force it to him to try to give him a touchdown, to keep him involved in the game and stuff like that?
Yeah, I tried my best this year to not try to do that. I'll let Coach Reid call the plays, Coach Bieniemy call the plays, and I let the game come to me. And I think that's helped me be even more efficient this year. And now if I can just stop throwing dumb fourth quarter interceptions, I'd have some good games.
Patrick, what do you think of the hit on Juju?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. obviously, I don't think there was like any ill intent from the player. I mean, he's just trying to knock the ball loose and do stuff like that. But obviously there was some helmet-to-helmet contact, and we want to get that out of the league as much as possible for player safety. So if we can review that and kind of make it to where there can be some type of penalty or something, I mean, obviously you want to get that stuff out of the league as much as possible.
Just to clarify, do you mean to make that reviewable, or do you just make it?
No, I don't. It's so hard in this league, man, because these guys on defense are playing too. They're trying to do their best to stop us. But, I mean, by the rules, I mean, if it's helmet to helmet, it's supposed to be a flag. And I know that guy wasn't trying to. And I know it's a bang-bang call that doesn't always go your way. But you want to do your best to try to get that stuff out of the league so that we can have those guys out there playing and being safe.
You talked to Juju after the game?
In the game, you know, you got to hand off the ball a little bit too much, getting more involved in the game. Looked like he was the key guy at running back. As opposed to last week, now with this week, having him help out, how much helpful was that?
Yeah, he stepped out and had a big game. I mean, especially you'd like to see guys respond. I mean, he was running the ball really well in that first drive and had the fumble. And some guys can shut it down, and we kind of went right back to him, let him keep running it, and he stepped up. And so that's a great running back room. We got a lot of guys that play well, and when the offensive line is protecting like they were doing today and run blocking like they were, that makes our team really, really hard to stop.
From where Pacheco was in camp and OTAs to where he is now, even early in the season to where he is now, are you surprised he's made that kind of progress? I mean, has that been more than maybe you expected at this point in the season for him?
Not really. I mean, he's a smart guy as well. This offense is hard, especially on that running back position, to learn, because you have to do all the protections, you have to do all the routes, you have to run the ball, and we have different type of run schemes. And so for him, he has all the talent in the world. So now he's just going to continue to get better and better as he learns those little tricks of the trade to kind of go out there and make stuff happen. Where you might this read might not be exactly how it was scouted during the week, but how can I make this run work? And as he gets more and more reps, he'll get even better.
Patrick, have you seen Juju after the game or at halftime? You get a chance to talk to him yet?
Yeah, I got to talk to him. I mean, obviously it was scary when you're out there, but I mean, when you saw him after the game, he seemed perfectly normal. I mean, it's just he'll. I'm sure I don't want to say anything about the injuries. He'll sure have to do something to get himself back available for us, which is, I mean, the right thing to do. But he seemed like he was his normal self, giggling around, joking around, and stuff like that. And let's just take precaution and get him back healthy as fast as possible.
You threw a flag and picked it up on that play, and then on the interception you threw, they threw a flag for roughing and picked it up. Did you get an explanation on why they picked that one up?
The roughing one wasn't roughing, so that's probably why. But I wish it was, so I didn't have an interception, but it wasn't. The one where he got the helmet to helmet, I believe they were saying something about he was leading with his shoulder. But I mean, I know those guys aren't trying to helmet hit guys. I mean, we've preached that in this league, and we've tried to take care of each other. We want to play hard and compete, but we're trying to take care of each other out there on the field. But I mean, from the review, it looked like it was helmet to helmet. So I'm sure they'll review that, they'll make their changes, and come back better next week.
You don't often see teammates kind of insist on helping an injured teammate off the field, but it looked like Marquez and Travis kind of insisted on helping Juju to the sideline. What went into that moment?
Yeah, I mean, we have a brotherhood here. I mean, it's been fast because it's been a lot of new guys, but I think these guys, we're all best friends. I mean, we're doing stuff together every single day. We're playing Call of Duty at night. We're guys that we want to go out there and compete with each other, and be the best that we can be. And so to see that, I mean, it just tells you that these guys love each other out there on the field, and we'll go out there, we're gonna go down fighting together.
Patrick, I talked to Orlando this week and asked him how he thought he's been doing against some of the great players that he's playing up against this week. I don't think they give up any sacks. Talk about your offensive line play.
Yeah, I think they've accepted the challenge these last few weeks. I mean, even last week, whenever there were sacks, there was more coverage stuff. It wasn't on the offensive line. I was holding the ball too long and stuff like that. And that's another great defensive line we faced today with first-round draft picks, guys that are big, fast, physical, and they did a great job running and pass protecting. So I think as the season goes on, offensive lines, especially with the rules in training camp, they get better and better. At least the really good ones do. And I think you see in our offensive line as the season goes on become that elite group that we all expected.
Last one,
Patrick, it seems like just a little more on Kadarius. This is about as fast as you've developed a rapport and a trust with somebody. And I know you spoke to it a little bit, but what's the biggest challenge for him to be able to do what he's doing, and for you to trust him like this already?
I think the biggest challenge is, I mean, I don't know if it's a challenge. I think it helps that he was kind of in a similar offense in New York. I mean, Kafka's there, so he understands some of the words, and it kind of clicks to him about stuff like that. But, I mean, ever since he's been here, he's got to be in that that facility just as much as I have. I mean, he's making sure he knows the splits. He's making sure he knows exactly the route combinations, the different audibles that we have on the offense. And I mean, when you have a guy that's that talented, that wants to learn and get better and better, those are those special players that you want on your team.
All right, thank you. Rackham.
That's what I'm talking about.
327-17 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, situational football got weird at the end of the second quarter. Jacksonville scores. Jody Fortson fumbles the squib kick. They miss a field goal, but now Jacksonville gets the ball to start the third quarter. A 9-minute plus drive. That just settled for a field goal, and they had a touchdown taken off the board. Let's talk about the defense stiffening up there, and Chris Jones' huge sack.
Yeah, I mean, it's massive. You need the defense to step up in that moment, because at that point, Jacksonville has all the momentum, and they're trying to snatch more momentum. And that's the way that you beat the Chiefs, right, is you keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, try to keep scoring and keep that momentum going for them. But the defense stepped up in a huge way. Gigantic play by Chris Jones there to get the sack and force them to kick a field goal instead of scoring a touchdown.
But it almost worked for the Chiefs' favor in the fact that the Jags ate up so much time, shortening the game and only getting 3. The Chiefs still had a 2-possession lead. Now the ensuing drive. So it's 20-10. Jags have momentum since that 11-second mark in the second quarter. But what a drive by Mahomes and the rest of this offense. Let's talk about the offensive line here first. Prince Tega-Wanogho had to be at right tackle because of the injury to Andrew Wiley.
Yeah, it's all about next man up, right? We always hear that. It sounds like coach speak. But in moments like this against a pretty good defensive line in the Jacksonville Jaguars, you need Prince Tega-Wanogho to come in the game and play well. And I think he did. And what a drive there by the Chiefs. Their ability to answer in this game was really impressive, I think, because, again, Jacksonville had a lot of momentum there. Even though they only kicked a field goal, still had some momentum going. They had scored 10 unanswered points. It was 20-10 at that point. It's anyone's game. But Patrick Mahomes leads a 10-play, 75-yard scoring drive, finds Travis Kelce in the end zone for a 7-yard touchdown, and that kind of put it away for the Chiefs. But their ability to answer throughout this game was really important.
But those third down conversions, enormous. And the 19-yarder on McKinnon on third down and short. McKinnon is just turning to more and more and more of an asset and a weapon for this team.
He is. He's an awesome player. Such a Swiss Army knife on this team. And also Kadarius Toney. We talked about him a bit earlier. I believe he had a big catch on that drive as well, near the boundary. What a player he's turning into in this offense already. Of course, we had him on the show here. But for 90 scrimmage yards from Kadarius Toney in this game, and doing it in different ways, going up and getting jump balls, but also jet sweeps. Very excited to see Toney in this offense moving forward.
One of the heroes of this game and a milestone game, Carlos Dunlap. First of all, let's start with 100 sacks. Only one of 8 players active in the NFL to beat that mark. What's it feel like to get triple digits?
One of 8, and we're number 8. That's super special, doing numbers there. Feels like a big weight lifted off my shoulders, getting that, triple-digit number. But obviously, as a competitor, that competitive nature, we want to win the game. Because you got it early, now you want to win the game and continue to get more sacks, hits, pressures, whatever.
So I want to also talk to you after the Titan game, because let's lump these two together. The discipline that's required as a defender when you play a team that has good runners. And ETN today, excellent runner, but you guys held him in check. Discipline, whether you're play side or backside, what's it require?
The key word is discipline. Being accountable for your teammates. Obviously, if you stop the run and do a good job stopping the run, then you get the opportunity to get after the passer. And as a D lineman, that's what we all know it takes.
But Los, this is a young defense. How much do you have to teach the guys? Because you can get overzealous and overrun plays. How much have you taught these guys?
I just try to communicate little tips of the trade to help speed the game up for them, because all of them have earned their rights to get here. But this is a different game and at a different level, so I just try to give them the knowledge that I can give them that they'll digest and they can apply. So I don't try to give them too much, because obviously there's a lot of people and coaches all hitting them with stuff, and I remember that as a young player, so I try to give them as less as possible, but real nuggets that they can take with them and apply.
What about digging in as a defense, too? You forced them to punt the first 2 possessions today against Jacksonville. They've got the ball at our 39 and 44. What about digging in when it means the most?
It don't matter. Put the ball down. As a defense, we pride ourselves in getting off the field 3 and out or however possible and getting the ball back to Patrick, because you see what he could do back there with the Pat Magic.
And being in a culture like the Chiefs Kingdom. You've been in this league 13 seasons. What does it mean to be here, and what is this culture? What are you learning about it?
It's easy to absorb, easy to digest. You got a lot of competitors around you who have been in a lot of different situations, and they believe and trust in themselves and the system to get whatever done regardless of what obstacle is in front of them. You know, that's not always the case. A lot of people might waver or let go of the rope a little bit when things get tough. But here, everybody's grabbing the rope and trying to grab more of the rope, you know. And it's super admirable to see that it's across the board. It's not like one player got to step up and win the game for us. It's like any given day, it could be a couple different people who win it for us. So it's definitely fun to experience. And as a competitor, you know, I want that opportunity to go end it and win it for us too. So get after it.
You're doing just that with a historic day. But one final question. Here we go. As Kadarius going by here, Gators love all over the place. But I know you lost your dad. And I know he wanted to see the 100 sacks. But what about playing for his memory and what it means to get it today and thinking of your father?
It's a huge milestone. I don't want to discredit or lower the value and what that means to me. Getting that done today, regardless, even though that, you know, it happened in the way that it did.
Career sacks, man. How about that?
Thank you.
Gator love right here.
You hear it from the Gators.
The Gators. This is like a Gator Alumni Association.
Yeah.
But your dad, I mean.
Yes. You know, just the humbling feeling to be able to get that done. You know, want to put that jersey somewhere near him. Hopefully I can get it in there. You know, got to sign and, you know, fill out an application to the state to reopen it, to get it in there. But we're going to do whatever it takes because I want that to be near him because, you know, that's a milestone for me. Celebrate to him and his hard work and helping me get to, you know, laying that foundation, him and my mom, setting that foundation for me to be the person that I am today that had the opportunity to go out there and get 100. So, you know, that's a huge milestone that I want to celebrate with my family, my dad, you know, my brother, my sister. You know, we all were invested in this, so we got that done. Now, you know, I got more things that I would like to accomplish, but right now we're going to celebrate and enjoy this 100.
And welcome to your new family. This is your new family here in the Chiefs Kingdom.
I love it here, and I'm grateful that I got to share that with a guy like Chris Jones, who's going to get his 100, I think, in his career as well. So it's kind of crazy how that works out. You know, I got my 100, and then here's a guy who has potential to get 100 plus as well. So it's an exciting moment, and, you know, it's kind of like handing the torch type thing. But we're not done yet. I mean, the season is just getting started. We're heating up. November is a special month, so we want to focus in and win all the games that we can in November.
Now you know why we're so excited to have number 8 in the Chiefs Kingdom. God bless you, sir.
Appreciate you.
And a big day. Carlos Dunlap.
Yeah. Go Chiefs.
All right, the Chiefs get the victory 27-17, a great team victory. As we talked about, this defense getting 5 sacks, the younger guys offensively, Kadarius Toney showing up, Mahomes had a big day, and then the Bills lose. I mean, this will be talked about for a long time. The Bills had the game won.
Yeah.
They fumble a center to quarterback exchange to allow the Vikings to get the game to overtime and win the game. The Vikings beat the Bills.
Yeah, we were just watching it here in the locker room club. Everyone goes crazy watching that game. It's only week 10, but when you have 2 teams as good as the Chiefs and the Bills and the margin for error is so slim, these are important games. And at some point down the road in December and January, we might be talking about that Bills loss to the Vikings. That's a big, big deal. At 7-2, the Chiefs are now the top team in the AFC in terms of the standings. It's a beautiful thing.
One thing I want to mention before we go off and close the show is the fact that we talked about the speed of Jacksonville defensively all throughout the week. But we need to talk about the speed of the Chiefs defense, particularly Nick Bolton and Willie Gay Jr. Their plays on the bubble screens and the screen passes, and the fact that Travis Etienne did not go crazy in this game can be lost in all of the other stats.
Yeah, Travis Etienne came into this game with 5 consecutive games with at least 100 yards from scrimmage. In that span, only Tyreek Hill and Alvin Kamara had more scrimmage yards than Travis Etienne. He's a beast. He's been having an incredible stretch. The Chiefs hold him today to just 73 total yards, only 4 yards per carry when he was running the ball. Really never got going in this game, and that was really the defensive game plan for the Chiefs, we thought, coming in. You have to stop Travis Etienne, make them beat you other ways, and the Jags just couldn't do it. Awesome effort by the Chiefs defense here today against a very good uprising player.
Back-to-back home wins here against AFC South teams. Now it's back to the division and Sunday Night Football. We will monitor the injury situation this week. Juju Smith-Schuster left, concussion protocol. Chris Lamons, the same. Andrew Wiley goes down with an elbow injury. So stay with us all week long. But now you got to get ready to play the division again in another Sunday night football game as the Chiefs go to take on the Chargers.
And between now and then, enjoy watching the Chargers and the 49ers on Sunday Night Football here tonight. The Chargers do not have Mike Williams, I believe, or Keenan Allen in this game. A loss in this game for the Chargers would really hurt their chances in this division. Let's see what happens tonight. It'll definitely influence what happens a week from now.
A great salute to service game today in front of raucous fans that are still going crazy with the Chiefs getting this victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's Matt McMullen. I'm Mitch Holthus. Thanks for joining us on a victorious edition of a 7-2 Chiefs Rewind.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs, and by Community America Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.